Dr. Cat here, Dr. Tess. Today on Chiro Chat, World Spine Day. That's today. Yay! Spine.
Yes.
This is actually what an adult-sized spine looks like, by the way. No, it's not real, but that would be very cool. See? Adult-sized spine. From the front, from the side. So the curves that you're supposed to have are front to back curves, just so we're all clear.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we thought we'd go over some interesting little facts and figures regarding your spine and spinal health. Obviously, we're chiropractors, so kind of our wheelhouse.
Absolutely. We live here.
We do. We live here. We also live here and here, but we really live here.
Yeah.
So one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is that back pain is the single biggest disability claim in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the second in doctor's office visits, only to, I believe it's respiratory infections, which also most MDs cannot help you with most of the time. So there is a lot of money that gets spent on trying to treat issues in the neck, the low back specifically, that is honestly just money. You're just flushing it, simply because it's not working at the problem where the problem is at. I think that the last recorded numbers is like $50 billion a year just in this country on costs related to low back pain, missed time at work, disability, prescriptions, office visits, surgeries, my God, that people don't actually need most of the time.
Yeah.
So we are your rather budget-friendly option for low back issues, for any spinal issues. Most of that low back stuff is mechanical in nature. So again, our wheelhouse. You've got all these different joints in the spine, right? So you got joints on either side at every level. Let me get a little closer here. So you got all these joints at every level. So you can have a problem with the joint. You can have a problem with the disc, like this little thing is showing you here. Have a little disc herniation going on, or disc irritation. You can have all the muscles and ligaments that are attached to this having issues as well, because this doesn't live in a vacuum in your body. This is completely covered by soft tissue structures that are what make it move. So all of those things come into play when you're talking about spinal health.
Right. So how in the world do things go wrong in your spine that are mechanical? So mechanical referring to how it moves and how it functions.
Do we get to do it?
So there are lots of ways. There are the big deal major traumas that are very obvious, such as falling on the floor.
Oh no!
And we've all done that at least once or twice, maybe once or twice a month, depending on the person. So when your spine is in your body, which hopefully yours is, when you fall, it's not a direct impact to the spine like that was, but it's still a jarring motion that sends things into a tizzy. We've all heard of whiplash injury. That is a trauma that whips the head, forward and backwards. That all puts stressors into the spine directly, but it also creates muscle tension issues that then in turn can create spinal misalignments, which then ultimately lead to pain and dysfunction if they're not handled properly.
Then we all have the other things that we do day to day that slowly create repetitive stress damage. Looking at our phones, right? Nobody's holding their phone up and looking at it like this. We're all looking down at it. Sitting horribly in chairs, picking things up not correctly, right? Not lifting with the legs, but bending over with the low back, and then having to, instead of the whole pelvis bending, we're trying to bend here and back, and it's really not bent to handle all that stress by itself.
Very detrimental to the discs when you put that kind of pressure on them. How many people, and I know I'm one of them, have bent over to do the tiniest little thing, didn't actually lift anything, didn't put any weight on your body, you bent over to pick up a piece of paper, and you stand back up, only you can't stand back up because something grabs and stabs. That is an example of repetitive motion creating a problem that ultimately your body just says, you know what, I'm done. So
how do you fix all this?
how do you fix it?
Number one, UCS.
See your chiropractor.
Get adjusted. Make sure everything is working properly, because the better all the nervous system flow can get to where it's supposed to go, the better the communication is, the better it all works. Also,
Absolutely.
there's the taking off the mechanical stress of joints that aren't moving.
Right.
Better posture. Proper lifting techniques. Improving your diet, because if you're eating a ton of sugary foods, then your inflammation is up in your body, and the inflammation is basically an accident waiting to happen, is how I would look at it.
It absolutely is. Move your body. We are not meant to be couch potatoes. The more you move your body, the more nutrients get into your spine. So your discs get their nutrients by movement. So if you sit all day and never move, your discs start to become malnourished, they start to degenerate, which then creates more problems in your spine.
Mm-hmm.
What else is there?
I think that covers it. That's all the big ones.
Yeah, core. We talked about core exercises a lot.
Core
Keep your
strength.
core nice and strong so that it can protect this as much as possible with your motions.
Yoga.
Yoga's great. Yoga's
Good
awesome.
for core.
So, unless you know something we don't know, there is currently no transplant procedure for this structure. So the one you're born with is the only one you get
And it really has to last a long time.
until you die. And we would like you to be alive for a very long time. So this needs to stay healthy through that process.
Right.
So if you have any questions, any concerns, any success stories you want to share, feel free to do so. And we'll see you next week. Bye.